For 18 months we've had a lot of problems, financial and legal problems, and we were given the opportunity to put the band together with the problems continuing, and in September, so we made the album then. We put the band together and we're back on the road.
During this period of hiatus, Paul Young, of course, began to work with Mike and the Mechanics. But what had the rest of the band been doing?
I've been producing bands in Germany, working for the BBC, producing live things, as Des has been doing, for Radio 1. Lots of sessions, lots of jingles, lots of playing on singing on other people's albums. That's about it.
I've been working for the BBC, producing bands, doing lots of sessions with lots of different people.
Meanwhile, lead singer Paul Young had received a call from the producer of Mike and the Mechanics, Christopher Neal.
He asked me if I would like to go down and join in a project by Mike Rutherford from Genesis, so I said, yeah, obviously, of course, I'd really like to, you know. So I went down there and I sang one song in the studio and came back home. And about a week later, Mike rang me up and said, yeah, that's fine, do you want to come and do some more? And I ended up doing about four numbers on the album. While I was doing that, I bumped into an old friend, Nicky Richards from Legacy, and he suggested and got together with Jerry, putting the band back on the map by making records again. He said he wasn't really bothered about our problems, since the Mechanics project we haven't stopped working, you know, which is really good.
Basically, the new album was Paul and Ian and myself, and we brought in various session players. Danny Sugar, keyboard player, who works with people like Nick Haywood, and is a very, very busy session player in London. Stephen Duffy, right.
Yeah.
And he is very forceful in his way, and for years we'd always, the method of Sad Café recording was everybody always had a set pattern of what they did and what part they played, and for once that didn't happen because we had Jeff C. Pardy, the drummer. He played the drums the way he played them, he was the drummer, and it gave a completely different slant to what we anticipated a song sounded like. It never did, because these new players would come in and completely change the direction.
And for the first time, the album was produced by the band.
Well, it was a matter of expedience, really, because the project was thrown together so quickly. I say thrown together in the nicest possible way. We discussed it and we started the following Monday in the studio. Ian and I went down on the train, and then we rang Des up. After 2 days, decided we needed a bass player. Des came down, and we just didn't have time to find a producer. And also, we did it on a very low budget. It's probably the album that's taken the shortest time to record, being about 6 weeks. And as you said, it's the first self-produced album by Sad Café.
And after working together on the Mike and the Mechanics project, Mike Rutherford agreed to play on this album for Sad Café.
Mike and I became very friendly during the Mechanics project.
He came in, he had a cold. He said,
Which made his voice lower.
pleased to meet you all. Went into the studio, and he'd had a cassette of the basic tracks that we'd put down, and he said, well, these are the 2 tracks that I feel I can do best on. And we just plugged his amp in and said, play.
So after the long hiatus and with a brand new album out, what was it like to go back out on the road, and what was the reaction of the fans?
When we started the intro and the fire curtain came up, you know, there was all these sort of very worried faces looking out, but to see all the people there, it was great buzz.
We played Manchester Apollo, and I was a bit apprehensive, you know, about how we would go down in our hometown after such a long absence. And it was very encouraging. The place was packed and they loved it. And lots of the comments afterwards from people who had been fans of Sad Café for a long time. And I asked them, you know, for their opinion on the new incarnation of Sad Café, and they said better than ever.
And of course there is another Paul Young, so are the two regularly mistaken for each other?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Paul's a friend of mine. I've known Paul a long time, from the street band days. The first thing that happened was my mother phoned me up and said, it's nice to see you got a hit record again, you know. And I said, what? What are you talking about? And then obviously I couldn't release solo products under Paul Young, not for any legal situation, but because obviously people would mistake me for him and vice versa, and then it would just be a problem, you know. And then there is the thing that when my travel company check in a hotel, they say Paul Young will be arriving at 3 o'clock, and I walk in reception, there's like 15 girls rushing about waiting for him. And then they see me and I sign in and they all ignore me and walk away, you know.
Thank you so much for listening to this interview. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button and ring that notification bell. And there are many, many more to listen to on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you possibly can. Thank you.